Hi all, and welcome to this week's racing-based preview. Unfortunately, Group 1 racing's done and dusted for the year, but we've still got some feature races coming up this Saturday at the Sunshine Coast and Rose Hill Gardens. But Rick Chapman and I are going to focus on the Sunshine Coast meeting where there's 3 features and see if we can find a winner. So welcome you, Rick. How are you this morning, mate?
Yeah, I'm pretty good for a man of my habits, thanks. You know how it is.
Yeah, I sure do, mate. So the weekly grind, and have you been grinding along and found us some winners?
Oh, I think so, yeah. We've studied the form, and I think Saturday's Queensland meeting is a fantastic meeting to end the Queensland Winter Racing Carnival. There's a few standouts there, and I know I'll be having a few bets.
Yeah, it is a good-looking meeting, and the 3 features, they look pretty plain and simple to me, but we know it doesn't always go that way. So let's kick on with those. The first of the big ones is the Sunshine Coast Guineas. How do you see that one playing out?
Oh, look, it's a good race, as all the races there. But I think, given that this is a very spacious track, and it will be playing fair too, it'll almost be good, rated soft 5 right now, but soft 6, but will be good by Saturday. I like Tavachi. I think he's the best horse in the field, and although he hasn't shown that his past 2 starts, those past 2 starts have tightened him up, fit him up, and the big track suits his long stride. Now, saying that, he's drawn the inside, so he's going to be parked in behind runners. He'll need to get out, but he's got Damien Brown on him, and Damien Brown could win on a broomstick right now. We saw that last week. So I'm pretty bullish about Tavachi. I think he'll get out at the top of the lane and he'll weave a passage through, and I think he'll win quite comfortably, actually, from the filly of the moment, Sold for Song. But I'm on Tavachi.
Yeah, I think the market's got it right there, Rick. You know, after going through the form, I was looking at Tavachi or Sold for Song, the filly you touched on. I'm leaning the other way. I'm going for the filly. The only query being she's backing up 7 days later, and she hasn't done that previously, so you never know how these horses are going to handle the 7-day backup. But if she does, you know, she'll be swooping home. She's got that experience on the track with a win and a second from 2 starts. So I'm leaning towards her at the Sunshine Coast, but it wouldn't surprise to see Tavachi get up. So yeah, as I said, I think the bookies have got that one right, and those top 2 in the market should fight it out.
Yeah, there's a lot of enterprising and emerging stars in the race. It's actually about Sunshine Coast Guineas than most years, and probably worth more than 125,000. But it does have Group 3 level, so that's a big help for the connections too. But I'm looking forward to that race. If I'm right, well, if we're right, those 2 will be storming home.
Yeah, well, you just touched on the prize money there, Rick, as well. 125,000 at Group 3 level. The next race we'll look at, the Glasshouse Handicaps, worth 175,000, and that's a listed race. So getting into that one. Are you going to go with the top weight, Stratum Star, or have you found something else?
Look, there's no doubt that if you follow the way I think in life in regards to races, I'm a class person, and I think class always shines through. And when they come back in grade, they're worth betting on. And there's 2 standout class horses in this race, and they are numbers 1 and 2, Stratum Star and Sacred Star. No doubt in my mind they'll fight it out, despite the fact that you've got some pretty useful horses well weighted down the bottom, such as Saluda and this old but newcomer to the racing scene, Irish Constabulary, who might be really good. But Sacred Star, I think he's got lengths on this field. The Kiwis have really dominated in Queensland this year during the carnival. Pike's a master trainer. Vinnie Colgan's drawn the rails. He's not too heavily weighted on 59 kilos, and I think he just sits just off the pace and breaks clear as they straighten up and wins comfortably. Stratum Star is very good. He's finally drawn a good marble. He has to be in the placings. And probably Steel Zip or Ninth Legion, who's found another leg since Peter Obel's taken over. But I'm really keen on Sacred Star, and I couldn't believe they put up $6 this morning. That'll do me.
Yeah, well, again, the market seems to have this one right, Rick. The 2 stars up the top can fight it out. We're differing again here. I'm going for Stratum Star. I like the way Weary's set him for this one. He's had 6 runs this campaign. He had a bit of a break before his last 2 starts. So I think dropping back in trip after contesting some tough races, those 2 runs would have topped him off nicely. This looks like his pet distance, 1400, although he's run well over 2000. He's a Group 1 winner at 1400 metres. So as you said, to kick this one off, Rick, class prevails, and I think he's the class runner. He gets the weight for that. But I'll be on Sacred Star, Stratum Star, sorry.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah, it might have been a Freudian slip, but no, Stratum Star for me.
Yeah, all right. Well, the Stars will fight it out.
Yeah, let's hope so. All right, and on to the last one, Rick. We've got the Caloundra Cup. Can anything possibly beat Morris?
No, not as long as each horse has got 4 legs. If form stands up to rationale, then he should win comfortably. I was really bullish and keen on Puccini last start, and Morris was in that race. And I thought he was ridden well, and he looked the winner as they turned for home, but he just could not accelerate, and Morris went past him, put a gap on him. And so on that basis, I know it's a bit further this time, which will suit Puccini, but Morris won with too much class and too much conviction for mine, and he's currently $1.85. He might touch $1.90 because there'll be a bit of a rally for Index Link, who won quite well last start. But no, they can't. They just can't beat Morris. He wins.
No, that's right. And you touched on as well, Rick, this isn't further. He failed at his only attempt at the trip in the Metropolitan. He finished 7, nearly 8 lengths off the lead. But this is a weaker field, obviously. And in the Metropolitan, he'd only had 2 runs that campaign, so he might have been a bit vulnerable and wasn't fit enough to run out that 2400. This time he's fit, and he powered through the line last time. So, he was eased up. He was just, and you look at the ride, it wasn't a pretty ride either. He's been pulled out early, made a long, sustained run around them, and just, he looks in career best form. And if he holds that, surely he wins. I had the dangers being, there was another race the same day, and they ran 4 lengths quicker. You're a class man. I'm a bit of a times man. So we've got Amex, who won that race, saved a lot of ground on the rail, and had an easy time of it, but all clear. He did it tough around the outside, and it's probably a danger, I think. If there's going to be a danger to Morris, and I don't think there is, I think it's all clear.
Yeah, well, that's an appropriate comment, all clear, because I think he wins easily from Puccini. So, but I understand what you're saying about Amex and all clear. I watched those runs, and they were good runs. But as soon as they get up against horses that can get away from them, with the rising class, horses tend to put the cue in the rack a bit. But I might be wrong. All clear is racing consistently, and Amex has top talent and showed it returning to form last start. But Morris wins easy. It's $1.90. We finally beat the bookies.
And with, I said about the times, they ran 4 lengths quicker, but really that just makes Morris's win look better, because they obviously went slower in the early stages of the race, and to sit last the way he did in a slower run first part of the race, and then come around them, covering ground, it was a good win.
It was a very good win, and jockeys will ride like that when horses have got lengths on the opposition. They'll just ride to stay out of trouble, and that's exactly what he did. It might not look pretty on paper, that ride last week, but he got the results because he was on the better horse.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, that's Sunshine Coast done dusted for us. Have you got a best for people to follow on the weekend, Rick?
I'm really keen on seeing how Thud goes in Sydney on Saturday. We know that poor old Blake Shin copped a month for his ride on Thud last start, with the stewards basically saying, you pulled this horse up, you rode to get beaten. He's back on it, so clearly the connections weren't overly unhappy with the ride. I've studied the ride many times, and I think they were very harsh with their determination of 4 weeks. He made one error of judgment with 100 to go, and the race was already gone. But anyway, it's a similar sort of field. She's a good filly. She was desperately unlucky. So, but you've got the conundrum: does he win, and so the stewards therefore look right, or does the horse get beaten and therefore they look right? I think the latter. I think so I think the former. I think she's a good filly, and she gets out at the top of the straight, she'll finish over the top of Flamboyant Lass. So that's the race I'm mainly looking forward to. Do I think it's the best bet of the day? Probably not. I'm also looking forward to my friend Mark Noonan's chance of winning his first ever race as a trainer with Lanciato. He's in really well in that race. So he's in race 6, so I think he'll be hard to beat. I know she ran horrible last start, Callaway Cruiser, but I think she's a country filly with a lot of talent, and maybe there was something wrong with the way her action last start. But if she's back in town, I'll give her another chance. But Janoob looks the best bet of the day. He just talk about class. This has got. Remember Opinion won? I was on him the other week when he was $11. He had 61 kilos, and the rest of them had 54. And in that Stayers Cup race, and he won with a leg in the air by 100 yards. Well, I think you could nearly put Janoob in the same category in this race. So good day's racing, but my main bets will be in Queensland.
Okay, so get on Janoob and keep an eye on Thud.
Yeah, keep an eye on Thud. I'm really looking forward to watching that race.
All right, well, I've got one for Caulfield picked out, and I'll be on this one. And I think most punters around the country will be on this too. It's called Alcohol.
They'll probably be on it a bit later than you.
Yeah, that's right. Well, we can collect some cash from Alcohol and then get on the Alcohol later. So we've got some form around Turn It Around. I was on him 3 starts in a row. Off last start and tipped Longer On saluted. Turn Around ran a bit of a shocker, so that's his prep finished. But I'm jumping off Longer On this time, who's also come up as a $2.80 favourite, and I'm getting on Alcohol. I think the weight turnaround makes a big difference here. He's had 4 runs under his belt this time. He looks primed, and he'll be flying home at Caulfield. So Alcohol 440 with sports bet at the moment. Let's jump on that one.
Yeah, those staying races are always interesting affairs down in Melbourne.
Yeah, well, there's some good races on Saturday all around the country, so there's plenty to choose from. But I think that's my best of the weekend for sure.
I did think going back to Sydney, I was, how Chris Waller dominates the size of fields. He's got 4 2-year-olds in the first race out of the 8. All 4 of them are last start winners, and all 4, if you go through the form, have a big chance of winning. Again, from a sheer spectacle, watching these sort of races, taking the punting aspect out of it, that's a fascinating race. And which one do I think is the best? Probably Fox Play, but the one that won at the provincials, High Miss, won with incredible ease, so it might be hard to beat too, but I'll probably go for Fox Play in that. But again, I'll just be watching that race. To me, it's just fascinating day of racing all day.
Yeah, well, it'll be a good race for the punters that get it right, and it's more than likely going to be a good race for the bookies, that one, Rick. Yeah,
well, if some other trainer wins, it would be, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, that's this week's preview done. Join us back here next Saturday, and we'll try and find some more winners, and good luck to everyone on Saturday.
Yes, good luck, and if they've got a good fortune shines on us, we all should win. Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah, would do. All right, bye for now, guys, and good luck.